Hello, I'm Evan Brand, certified functional medicine practitioner and nutritional therapist, talking with you today about the root causes of exhaustion. I can't tell you how many people come to me with exhaustion, chronic fatigue. I'm just tired all the time. I wake up, I'm not refreshed. I wake up and I just want to go back to bed. I wake up and I need coffee, or don't talk to me in the morning before I have my coffee. You know, people joke about these things, but in reality, chronic fatigue is no joke because this affects every aspect of your life. This affects your work performance. This could affect how good of a father or a mother you're being. What about your relationships? How are you putting energy into those relationships if you don't have enough energy yourself? If you're a caretaker, how do you caretake someone? How do you take care of your grandchildren? Or how do you take care of your aging parents if you're exhausted? You can't. So it's very important to address these issues. And if you go to the conventional doctor, all they're going to offer you is potentially Vyvanse or some other type of methamphetamine derivative where they're trying to diagnose you with maybe ADD or ADHD, or it's not a good turnout. It's not good. It's not root cause, right? You always want to address the root cause. Let's say you go to your doctor, I'm tired, I can't focus, I can't pay attention. Okay, Mrs. Sally, we're going to give you a prescription of Vyvanse. That should help your energy right up. But that hasn't addressed the root cause. Why is the energy gone in the first place? So, of course, people blame it on age. Oh, I'm just getting older. Or even the doctor may say, oh, you're just getting older. That's what's supposed to happen. We all get tired. Oh, my joints hurt. Oh, you're just getting old. No, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Number one, light deficiency. Now, I've got a skylight right above here, so hopefully that lights me up. But it's a dark day today. It's snowing outside. It's very, very cold out there. Even outside though, you're still getting much more natural light than you do inside of a home. There's a measurement of light called lux, L-U-X, and what we're designed to have on a sunny day is about 100,000 plus lux. And this is a measurement of brightness, so 100,000 is a lot. Now, on a cloudy day, you could probably still have 10,000 plus lux, and you can buy a lux meter on Amazon and figure out what is my light exposure. Think of your light exposure or your light deficiency. Think of that as the way you charge your batteries. You've got something called the SCN, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This sends a message through to the optic nerve, which tells the brain, the hypothalamus, which then talks to the pituitary, which then talks downstream to the adrenals. Hey, it's time to wake up, let's secrete cortisol. And this is why in the morning, this is going to tie directly into number 2 here of root causes of exhaustion. It's an adrenal issue. Normally what we're supposed to see is a rhythm like this. We're going to slowly creep up and then we're going to creep down. So this is when you first wake up at, let's say, like 5, 6 a.m. That's too early. Your cortisol is not really peaked. So plus 30, plus 60, an hour after you wake up, your cortisol is going to hit its high point. Now, what is fueling this adrenal cascade? This is how it's supposed to happen. What is charging the battery is, hopefully, bright light. Now, if you're in an office setting, you've got a cubicle. If you're unlucky enough not even to have a window, you're maybe getting 200 to 500 lux. So look at the difference here, 200 to 500 versus 100,000 on a sunny day. I mean, duh, you know, this doesn't have to be so revolutionary to get exposure to bright light. Our ancestors lived outside, except we were in the caves and we were retreating away from maybe storms or animals or whatever. But normally we had bright light exposure, so we're literally light deficient in the modern era, which is of course going to be linked to vitamin D deficiencies as well. We're going to have neurotransmitter issues as well. Where's neurotransmitters? Here we go. Because a lot of your neurotransmitters like dopamine, you're going to be producing that via light exposure. Amino acids, which ties into number 5, nutrient deficiencies. If you're not digesting your foods because you have gut infections, and you have malabsorption, now you can't make your neurotransmitters like dopamine to get yourself going. So even if you have the bright light exposure, but you haven't addressed this stuff down here, which we'll talk more about, you're going to be exhausted. So most people, what we see, this is a normal adrenal rhythm, most people we see, they're just kind of barely coming up and then they just flatline. So this is midnight, this is like noon, you see how those lines are almost exactly the same. This is like 10 a.m. This is why people say, oh, I'm a morning person, or I get things done in the morning and then my day's downhill from there. When they say that, they mean literally my day's downhill from there in terms of cortisol. So you have to test your adrenals with a saliva panel. There are urine tests out there, but I've not seen the literature proving urine testing for adrenal hormones is accurate. Saliva testing, there's 1,000+ studies on that. So I do saliva at this time. Number 3, mitochondria. What are your mitochondria? They're inside of every cell in your body. There's so many of them, you can't believe it. Mitochondria produce a cellular energy called ATP, which you probably remember that from maybe biology class a long time ago. And ATP is the currency of energy. So if you have good cortisol, you have bright light exposure, you're producing ATP, you're going to be in good shape. Now, why do people have mitochondrial damage? Well, number one reason is going to be toxins. We know this. We know that the antibiotics damage your mitochondria. So toxins is going to be huge. Now, I run a test called a GPL tox, and this is something that's really important for looking at mitochondrial function, not directly, but indirectly by looking at the toxins. I'll go ahead and put a picture up here on the screen. You can see one of my clients dealing with exhaustion. She had gasoline additives off the chart. She's the highest person we've ever seen ever. And so these chemicals, gasoline, xylene, that can come from your insect repellents, your bug spray, perfume can have xylene. So all the women out there spraying yourself with perfume, stop doing that. Nobody likes to smell it, and also you're making yourself toxic. So we can measure these chemicals via urine, and we can determine, hey, this, and this can cause your headaches, this can cause your fatigue, this can cause your depression, pesticide exposure, organophosphates, which is a whole category of pesticide formulations. If you're not eating 100% organic, you have to. Otherwise, you're damaging your mitochondria. So you're going to be tired. So then you go and you find this latest, greatest mitochondrial boosting supplement. You take it. You don't really get good results. You're like, okay, well, what's wrong with this supplement? No, it's not the supplement that's the problem. It's the toxins that's the problem. So you have to address that. Fix your diet. Clean up your personal care products. Get rid of the perfume. Guys, if you're wearing cologne, get rid of that crap. Nobody wants to smell it. If you want to use essential oils or something like lavender, frankincense, cedar wood, if you want to smell manly, masculine, go for it. But, don't wear the Axe and all the fake crap. It's not worth it. Even if it's $500 a bottle, I don't care. It's still not good. Okay, next, gut infections. So H. pylori was a big one for me. I was exhausted for probably a decade of my life. H. pylori just drained me. For one, it caused me to lose weight without trying, and that's not a fun way to lose weight because you're literally starving from the inside out due to malabsorption. Because H. pylori, what it's doing is it's reducing your HCl levels. Hydrochloric acid levels go down, and it damages the parietal cells of the gut. And those are the cells that secrete stomach acid. So with that infection that's easily passed, by the way, between partners via kissing, sharing cups and spoons, that's not good. If you have that infection, you could pass it to your partner. So if they're tired, you're both tired, you both need to get your gut checked. Run a stool test. Number 5, nutrient deficiencies, malabsorption. Well, duh. I mean, if you have infections, if you have nutrient deficiencies in general because your diet's not good, well, you could have B12, you could have B6, you could have folate anemias. These all are going to affect your energy levels. You can test for homocysteine, kind of an indirect marker on the blood. Homocysteine is going to be more of a functional marker that's going to look at potential deficiencies of your folates and your B vitamins. B is in Bravo. Number 6, neurotransmitters. We talked about that. So dopamine is going to be primary. Did a whole video, I'll link it up here, about amino acids and what you should know. What you can do though, you can use L-tyrosine. Tyrosine is one of my favorite amino acids. We use that with clients a lot to help rebuild dopamine levels. We don't just assume someone has low dopamine though. If just based on lack of energy, lack of drive, lack of motivation, we can kind of go based on symptoms. If they're easily bored, they're just bored all the time, usually that's low dopamine, but not always. So this is why we run organic acids testing, which is a urine test that we do at home. That looks at the dopamine metabolites. So we can look at all these different neurotransmitter metabolites, which are the breakdown products of your brain chemicals. It's like measuring your tailpipe for emissions. That's what we do with the urine. And we can look and see, hey, is dopamine actually okay or is it too low? If it's low, we can supplement and then obviously work on all the root causes. Now, last thing here, I just put 7. I put other because, I mean, of course, this is a great list, but there's other stuff out there too. So I wrote job. What if you hate your job? You're going to be tired in the morning. You don't want to go to work because you hate your job. I mean, that's simple. What about your marriage? What if your relationships are bad and you're trying to stay in a marriage that you shouldn't? Or you're trying to fix a relationship that you know you should end? Or you've got a bad boss or a bad partner or negative family members that are bringing you down? You've got energy vampires. Did a video on that. I'll link it up here too. There's other factors besides the functional problems. It could be just stuff in your life that you don't like, stuff you need to fix. So I encourage you, if something's ringing a bell, oh crap, he's right. This person's really bad for me. I need to get away from them. Well, there you go. There's your answer. Why don't you start there and then work on this other stuff? So this is Evan Brand signing out. If you want to reach out, schedule a consultation. I deal with these problems every day around the world. This is not just an American problem. This is Australia, South Africa, Europe, South America. I've got clients all around the world that have chronic fatigue and exhaustion, and you can fix it. So it's fun. I love it. I love when I hear that I did not give anyone energy supplements. You notice I didn't write deficiency of energy supplements? I rarely give anybody energy supplements, but I fixed the gut and all of a sudden the energy levels just quadruple. It's really cool. So if you want to reach out, you can click on screen. Look forward to talking with you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.